Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and yet another episode of my F1 2018 career mode. 4 days now. What the hell is going on? Who knows? But if you guys did miss yesterday's episode, then do check it out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. Speaking of the top right hand corner, I do apologise for the FPS counter. That's going to be in the first part of the video until we get to the race. For some reason, again, I've been having some recording issues. I don't know why, but my NVIDIA Shadowplay software isn't really working for me at the minute properly, and it's also giving me some performance issues, and I had a couple of lag spikes in this qualifying session. Nonetheless, we're going to put that to one side, and as you saw briefly on screen, there is a chance of rain in the race tomorrow towards the very end of the Grand Prix, so that's something we're going to keep in mind when it comes to how we set up this weekend for qualifying. But first of all, look at SAUBER in the R&D tree. First of all, we've slipped to the 6th best team now, Red Bull and McLaren bringing the upgrades, but SAUBER are getting ridiculously powerful this season, and they are seriously a threat, and someone needs to put a stop to them because it's really becoming an issue. Now, in the last episode, if you haven't seen it, then we did actually purchase a ultimate chassis upgrade, which is going to arrive for the British Grand Prix. My first upgrade I've bought since I've started doing career mode again. The problem is, obviously, that's a 4-week time, or 4 race time, for the upgrade to arrive. So in that time, we're not going to have any performance upgrades. You know, that's going to take 4 races to arrive, so we need to try and now work on some short-term upgrades. And to be fair, I've looked at the R&D tree, and there's 2 upgrades I've got in mind, which I'll show you at the end of the video. And this episode, we should have enough points by the end of it to hopefully get 2 upgrades. That's what I'm kind of hoping for anyway, and those 2 should give us a short-term fix for the next race, and hopefully we can add 1 more to that after the next Grand Prix. So starting from now, there's going to be some big R&D development on the way to try and catch up to SAUBER, and also try and bridge that gap from the lower half of the midfield to the top teams. But nonetheless, we're going to move into qualifying here at Ricard, one of my most favourite circuits in the calendar. I really enjoy it. It's a good driving circuit, and if you get a good setup and it flows right, then it's generally very enjoyable. Now, as you can see, so far we went out for a run on the Super Softs just to get a feel for the racetrack, and then we started switching over to the Ultra Softs, the more aggressive compound, to see exactly where the pace was. Now, the car was good around here, I've got to admit. It was really working nicely. Tyre temperatures are not a concern around here. The real problem is, and a bit like the last couple of races, we're lacking a little bit of pace, and it's mainly just down to the car being the 6th best car on the grid, and we're not really fast enough at the minute to really challenge. You can see there we go, P5 on my second lap, and I went for one more run on the Ultras. I knew there's a little bit of pace, a little bit of time left on the lap, but not a lot more, it has to be said. It was a pretty good lap, so we're going to run a ball. This was my best lap of the session, so let's go for a whole lap of the Paul Ricard circuit. Straight away, for turn 1, you want to brake just after the 50-meter board, down to 5th gear, really attack these curves. It's important to really carry the speed and momentum through, and really make sure you maximise your speed through there. Now going down to medium ERS to try and save some for overtake mode on this massive back straight, as we now go into a twisty section towards the end of sector 1, really attacking the curbs and letting the car really run out wide when you need to as you match a purple first sector. Now on the power, very hard here, hot lap ERS, and then we switch it up to overtake as we hit 8th gear, opening up DRS, and we keep it in overtake ERS all the way down to the Mistral chicane, where we go down to medium ERS once again, braking just after the 100-meter board, really attacking the curbs once again, as this is a very flat circuit, so you can really lean on the curbs around here. And then once again back up into hot lap, and then once again into overtake onto the second half of the back straight. Currently fastest here through sector 2, a tenth or so up as we now go through the fast Mistral right-hander here, and now into the best corner on the track in my opinion, this kind of downhill cambered right, which feeds into a very tight second apex, and we're now going to keep it in medium ERS for the rest of the lap until the start finish straight. So through here now, it's all about car momentum and just general setup work as we get a very nice run there through that off-cambered left. And now into the penultimate corner, it's all about bringing it in for a late apex. I run a little bit wide, and a bit too wide to be honest, more than I would like. I like to use a little bit of curb. Then finally through the final corner, we do bring it into the apex quite nicely. We got the power, no wheel spin, nice and clean, with some high lap ERS to get over the line, and a little bit of overtake as well. And we do get P7, so not bad, an improvement on our previous best. And I've got to be honest, besides that penultimate corner where we ran a little bit wide, that was pretty much a perfect lap and the absolute maximum I could get out of the car around this circuit. Around 9/10 of the pace. Charles Leclerc setting a ridiculous lap time, by the way, an absolute monster lap time. But we do start from P7, so hopefully we could try and make something happen in the race tomorrow. And we've got Lewis in P9 as well. But all in all, that is your grid for the French Grand Prix. And now it's time for the race.
Welcome along then to the Circuit Paul Ricard, home of the French Grand Prix, home race of the Renault team, and of course a number of the drivers on the grid as well. Of the 14 races held here up until 1990, 5 were won by a Frenchman, and 4 of those, of course, were Alain Prost. I wonder who'll add their name to that winners list today. A lap of Paul Ricard then consists of 15 corners and a total length of around 3.6 miles. Drivers will need to position their cars carefully on the exit of the flat-out turn 10, ready for the double apex right-hander at 11. Watch out for potential overtaking action at the end of the start-finish straight and into the heavy braking zone of turn 8. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Now I want to ask you about Charles Leclerc. Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Kimi Räikkönen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hülkenberg, Ericsson, Carlos Sainz, Martinez, Perez, Hamilton, Alonso, and Pierre Gasly. Leclerc, they've taken a grid penalty. Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo, and Verstappen, Van Dorn, Magnussen, Romain Grosjean and Lance Stroll, Sirotkin and Brendan Hartley rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right then, here we are on the grid for the French Grand Prix P6, third row on the grid alongside one of the Renaults in the form, I believe, of Carlos Sainz. And all in all, a decent qualifying yesterday. I was very happy with the car performance. We got the maximum out of the car, in my opinion. There was a small mistake in the penultimate corner through that long left where we could have gone a little bit tight to the apex, but generally speaking, I got the maximum out of the car and I was quite happy. And yeah, we got promoted a position thanks to Charles Leclerc picking up a penalty, but he's going to be extremely fast in that Sauber car. And they are really pushing on with development, Sauber. They really are. And we should hopefully have a couple of upgrades of our own after this race if we get enough R&D points. But with that being said, it's going to be an interesting race here at France. I really enjoy this track. It's one of my favourites and one that is just a very fun driving track. Now, strategy-wise, it's going to be quite interesting because we were originally recommended a two-stop strategy with the Ultras onto the Supers onto another set of Supers. Now, I've selected the Softs because I like the soft tyre around here. It's a very good race tyre. It's a very consistent tyre. And also, there is the possibility of rain towards the end of the race. So with that in mind, if we are on the soft, we can just go nice and long into the final stint and hope the rain does arrive. The longer we go in this first stint on the ultra soft, the better. So it's important to keep the tyre alive and also not overheat it. So yeah, we'll kind of take it one step at a time and let's see how the ultras get on. With that being said, it's going to be an interesting race. Fuel-wise, we are 1.8 laps over. And like I said, we've got the threat of Charles Leclerc coming from behind. And pretty much the target for me in this race is going to be a top 5 finish. I'm not really sure if the car performance is any better, like is good enough for any more than that, to be honest. A bit like Canada, so let's see what happens. Hopefully we can have a good race and have a little bit of fun. With that being said, it is now time for round number 8 for the French Grand Prix. Let's go. Right, here we go. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here at the circuit. Paul Ricard, get the revs up. 5 red lights are on and they are off. Away we go. Not a great start, has to be said. Not really much wheel spin, we just kind of bogged down here. So into turn 1, we're currently 3 wide with Alonso and Hamilton. Alonso going for the lunge there on Sergio Perez. As we go on the outside, we're going to try and get the exit here. Come on, let's try and pick up the speed. Down towards a very tricky, complex section here towards the end of sector 1. We just managed to get past Alonso and re-overtake him as we're now behind Sergio Perez. As we hit the back of him slightly. Let's try and see what our straight line speed is like. I think we should be okay around here with straight line speed personally, but that remains to be seen. Let's find out. Overtake ERS engaged along with some rich mix, and there you go, we're actually pulling away from Alonso, so very good signs there even though we are at full power. So let's make sure we get our car nicely settled into this race. It's important to have patience. Not the best start, having lost the place to Perez, but a long way to go in this race, and the threat of rain towards the end could be a bit of an X factor in this race. So let's see how this one pans out. But so far, lap 1, so good. Now we're going to see what the true race pace is like around here. I reckon Perez we can obviously get past because the Racing Point isn't a faster car than us, I don't think. So that's possible. But then after that, we're struggling then to get past any of the other guys. Anyway, lap 1 could draw us to a close, and I'd consider that an okay first lap. Looks like Ericsson's made a move for P2 in the Sauber, getting past Räikkönen, and now Leclerc's behind me. He's got past Alonso. The Sauber's really starting to show their pace early on here, and they are looking extremely rapid around this circuit. Ericsson fastest lap into the 129s. Goes to show the pace he's got as DRS is now enabled here. Okay, purple first sector. We're starting to close the gap to Perez here. We'll have DRS on him as well, so that should hopefully keep us ahead of Leclerc, I think. Or not. Wow, that Sauber's fast. Come on, give me that straight line speed. Hold on, hold on. There we go. Just about managed to hold on there, but now we're not going to have DRS. I think it's only a matter of time before Leclerc gets to move on me. Unfortunately, that Sauber is absolutely ridiculous. And here goes Leclerc. He's going to try and go down the inside. I'm going to just close the door on him. He didn't really commit to the move, so I'm going to make sure he doesn't get past just yet. Oh man, I'm really trying hard to keep Leclerc behind here. The Sauber, Ericsson's taking the lead, so the Saubers are really fast. When Ericsson's the fastest guy and he's in the lead, you know the Sauber's fast, because Ericsson has been nowhere recently compared to Leclerc. Also, I think I've definitely overfueled, without a doubt. So I'm going to try and keep him a rich mix. I want to see if I can get past Perez here, because I think he's starting to struggle for pace. And I'm starting to get the edge on him a little bit. And I think he could be vulnerable. Let's try and stick close through this section here. The only problem is he gets very good traction out of this corner here, which is kind of annoying because I can't catch up, although this time we are closer than we have been. A strong first sector, caught the second up, purple sector 1, but look at that racing point, still so fast on the straight. And looks like always been a bit of contact there. Hulkenberg off on the side of the racetrack, battling with Raikkonen, it seems. Something didn't quite go well there, yellow flag. But we are starting to really get close to Perez here. This is our scheduled pit stop lap for us personally on our strategy. But I'm going to stay out as so far the tyres seem to be holding on okay. And we're starting to put pressure on Perez as well. Oh, VSC. Yellow flag. There was a yellow flag behind just momentarily, and that's triggered a virtual safety car, which is not a bad thing. That could hopefully buy some time. And also hopefully cool the tyres down a little bit as well, which is going to help me out. Alright, VSC ending. Let's keep the delta speed down. There we go. Back to green. DRS now enabled. So tyres have cooled down, so we're going to get a chance here to once again go fast. So I might stay out for another lap because my tyre temperatures are back under control. Having said that, my tyre wear definitely doesn't feel great. I can feel it already. But let's see who comes in. Okay, so all three of the guys in front of me come in. So that's my call to pit. Or sorry, to stay out, should I say. Leclerc comes in as well. So we're going to run a strong lap here in hot lap mode in rich mix. We're going to try it and push hard here and go for a personal best. Right then, strong in lap. Matching my personal best. But my rear tyres are gone now. So we are going to come in and call it a day on these. Strong pit entry needed. Oh, we're going sideways, but we just about did it. Right, quick stop, come on. No hold-ups. There we go, 2.2, love that. Decent stop, nice and clean, onto the softs. This is where we're going to go on a bit of a contra strategy now compared to the rest of the AI cars, because everyone's going to go super softs, and we're going softs. We're going long into this race, we're going very long. So let's see how this pays off for us. I'm kind of relying on a little bit of rain, because if there's no rain we might get unstuck, but you never know. Up to speed, there's Perez as we hit the wall, there's Leclerc, and Hamilton's behind us, so we've lost ground. But it's not all doom and gloom, because we managed to get that first stint out nice and long as we get our first track extend of the race there, running a little bit wide. Okay, Leclerc's got past Perez, so we're now going to re-engage.
They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Oh, okay, Vettel with car trouble. That's an interesting one. He literally just set a fastest lap, and now he's got trouble with his car, so he's going to start going backwards. And that's going to kind of bring the pack together a little bit, I think, so that could be interesting. Also, Perez is now the next car in front of us, so he's going to be the one we're trying to attack next, and I can tell already I've got good pace in these tyres. I'm really switching these on, and we're aggressive. And these two guys in front are currently boxed in behind Magnussen, so this is my chance. Up to speed, let's try and make something happen here. Oh, getting very close to Perez through there. Bit of dirty air hitting me as well. Doing me no favours, but Perez boxed in behind Magnussen. We're going to sneak around the outside. Cheeky little move there. We're going to be in a bad position though for this final corner. Perez on the inside, we go around the outside, surely not. Yes we do, we're going to squeeze him off. There we go, good move. Great overtake there on Sergio Perez. And a pretty good lap as well, as we get the slipstream on Magnussen. Do we go for the move? Yes we do, I think. Down the inside at turn 1. Late move, aggressive move, but a move where you can't get any switchbacks, so come back at me. So there we go, we've made the move on Perez. And like I mentioned at the start of the race on the grid, the soft tyre is a good tyre around here, and I like it. It's a very, very competitive race tyre, and it's got good endurance as well. So that's worked out beautifully for us. So we can now continue going. We've got Leclerc in front of us. He's currently boxed in behind the struggling Sebastian Vettel. And we're now going to get a chance to open up a gap here as Magnussen is still in front of Perez, but it won't be for much longer, as Sainz actually got past now. So Sainz doing good work here in the Renault to recover. But right now, I think we've got enough pace on these to keep a gap. At least I hope so, especially if we can pass Vettel sooner rather than later. Right, another good lap there, 31.1. Sainz is very fast. I've got to say, he's got some strong pace. So if we can pass Vettel and put Vettel in between myself and Sainz for now, that'd be great. Hulkenberg setting the pace as well in the Renault. The Renault car's also going very well here. Definitely the second strongest car after the Saubers. Vettel going very slow here. We're just going to swoop past down the inside on the 4-man. We're not going to get DRS, but I'm not too concerned because we're going to open up a gap. And that's going to also push Sainz back as well, which is good news. But I think Sainz is going to catch me here. It's kind of inevitable. He's a little bit too fast for me at the minute. Oh, yellow flag in front. There's been contact at turn 1 here. Something's happened. There's some debris. Hartley's off. Yellow flag. Grosjean in front. Something's happened there. We'll have to get a replay of that one. Looks like we've got some slow-moving cars here. Grosjean's going very slow in the Haas. And look at that, Ericsson and Leclerc are going slow as well. Ericsson especially, not sure what's happened here. Ericsson goes wide. Got to be careful to not have an incident here, but Leclerc's on the back foot. I think Leclerc's car's still working perfectly fine. He was just trapped up behind Ericsson here. Speaking of which, we're going to try and go for the overtake here. Leclerc goes defensive. We go around the outside on Charles Leclerc. What a move. Job done, just like that. But I think Leclerc is still on me here. Yeah, look at that acceleration in the Sauber. Gee whiz, man. That car is a rocket ship as Leclerc makes the overtake. Oh, he gets off the throttle mid-corner and I have to get out of it. Picking up my second extend of the race. Leclerc's going slow through the corners. I think he might have front wing damage, I think. Not 100% sure, but the acceleration he gets is mental. He's definitely got wing damage, it seems. He's going really slow through the corners, but then picks up. Look at that acceleration. Crazy, crazy acceleration out of corners there. And then runs wide again. Leclerc's car is driving so strange at the minute because he is an absolute bullet on the straight. But through the corners, he's so abnormally slow. It makes no sense. As you'll see here, I find it very easy to catch up to the Sauber mid-corner, but then out of nowhere, puts the power down. Look at that. See you later. Car in the pit lane, one of the Racing Point cars. It's Esteban Ocon on a one-stop strategy going onto the soft compound tyres. This is a really awkward situation right now because look, this whole inconsistency of Leclerc's pace is annoying me because I could overtake him, but he's just going to get straight back past me on the straights. So I'm kind of relegating myself to just sitting behind him for now. But it's really annoying. Like here, look how much I gain. You can see mid-corner he's got some issues, but then on acceleration he just breezes away. Right, a couple more cars in the pit lane. That's going to give us P3 in this race. So we're on for a podium, which is something I didn't expect. But you know, there's been incidents and we've managed to keep our nose clean, which is the main thing. Raikkonen currently leads in the Ferrari. And we've got Leclerc, who's definitely got some car trouble. As you can see, we just get so close to him through corners, especially through this section here. He really is handicapped big time. Oh, big snap there. But then once he straightens up the car, he just goes. Even though I'm in rich mix and hot lap ERS, look at that. His name tag just disappears. Nothing we can really do about it. I can say tyre-wise, it's going to be very marginal. 25% on the left rear. We came in on lap 7. It's lap 15 now, so let's say 8 laps of 25%. Another 8 laps from now, that'll be lap 23 on 50%. And then we still have to do 4 more laps after that. So it's going to be marginal. Doable, but marginal. So let's see what happens. It's going to be very interesting nonetheless. I'm just starting to feel like Leclerc is starting to struggle a little bit now. Definitely looks like it to me. because he's really not even pulling away that much now on traction zones. It seems like also through corners he's extra slow now. My guess is he's got front wing damage and he's overcooked his tyres trying to rotate for corners and make them. So this is the closest we've been to Leclerc here, going out into the back straight, and I'm going to try and take him here. I want to try and clear him because Gasly behind me is starting to catch up. So let's try and make this move on Charles Leclerc if we can. We're going to pull to the outside. There we go, very simple move around the outside. A little bit late on the brakes, but we made it work. Leclerc's going to come back at me, to be expected. But if I can stay in front along the rest of this Mistral straight and through the next right, then I should be okay. There we go. Now we can try and pull away. Oh, Leclerc comes in. Right, there you go. So Leclerc on the two-stop strategy. So he comes in anyway. Yellow flag in sector 2 as we hit negative fuel now for the first time this race. I'm trying to burn off the fuel to be nice and light so that there's less stress going through the tyres. And also for the weather conditions as well, once the rain arrives inevitably. As you can see, it's starting to get very overcast now. Raikkonen should come in as well, I think. He's on a two-stopper, so in theory I'm in the net race lead and Gasly is my nearest challenger. If I can get these tyres to the end, that is. Tyre temperature's nicely under control. My front's a little bit hotter than my rears, that's fine though. I can manage that. Just all about managing things now because Raikkonen should come in. So Pierre is my nearest challenger in the Toro Rosso, which I cannot believe I'm saying. So now it's pretty much a battle now of keeping fuel and ERS on target and also more crucially keeping the tyres on target for the finish. As it'll be 10 laps to go when we cross the line next time round. So it's going to be very important. I can see Kimi's come in. So let's make sure we take this lead. And now we've got to try and convert it. I'm now going to start saving fuel again. I've burned off what I need to burn off. I'm now going to start saving so I can defend from Gasly if he does catch me, because he is a bit faster than me in the minute, so I have to be realistic. Okay, so the rain is coming. Apparently a couple of laps out, but it is on its way, so we need to start preparing for this. Kimi's now P3 in the Ferrari on super softs. He's going to be very quick, especially in the conditions when the rain's kind of half coming down and I'm on these worn tyres especially. Into selected though. We're getting ready for this because it is starting to get very dark, and I think this rain's going to arrive a little bit earlier than what it said on the monitor. Well, I'm going to start using rich mix again. I'm going to go well into the negative because I think the rain is coming, and once it's wet I normally tend to save fuel the way I drive, so I'm going to try and go well into the negative and try and get nice and light for the wet conditions. Pace is still strong, 31.2, a couple of tenths off on PB, so like I mentioned, this soft tyre is a very strong and consistent race tyre. Kimi is absolutely flying, and he's going to catch us at this rate before the rain even arrives. He's so quick. Oh, there we go. The rain is starting to fall here at Paul Ricard. So there you go, my prediction was correct as we set a personal best that lap, a 30.7, and we're actually keeping the gap to Pierre Gasly here, so it's working out very nicely. Yellow flag on the back straight as the rain starts to fall here, and it's the McLaren there going slow, and I think the Haas has just hit him, dare I say. We're going to keep going though, focus on our race and on the rain, which you can clearly see it's starting to really come down now. Stoffel Vandoorne is out of the race, there you go. Track already getting a little bit slippery, especially because my tyres are absolutely shot to pieces. There's Vandoorne on the left hand side, he's out of the French Grand Prix. Oh, and Grosjean as well, so double retirement there. Oh my god, the grip is non-existent. I need to look at my tyres. Let's have a look. Wow, okay, pushing 50. Not as bad as I thought. I've definitely kept my tyres in, and Gasly actually dropped off a little bit, so he's struggling to keep up. Seems like the conditions now are starting to get very delicate. This is going to really favour Raikkonen on his fresh super softs. Oh my god, the rain's getting really bad. I think I might come in. I think I'm going to. I didn't like how that felt. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to come in.
New strategy is available on
Oh,
the MFT.
I think we've timed it to perfection. Here we go into the pit lane. Gasly and Raikkonen stay out. There we go, 2.2. I literally just got offered a strategy change. My guess would be it's for inters, and when you get that message, normally that's perfect timing. And yeah, Verstappen's coming in behind us. I think everyone's coming in for inters, so Raikkonen and Gasly have stayed out. We've timed this to perfection here. So this has worked out beautifully. We're going to have no one on the pit straight with us. And here we go, on to the inters, and I think we've got this one spot on for a change. I think we've absolutely nailed the call for the inters. And yeah, the track feels fine. And you can see the track, the surface of it, And also the rain's really coming down. It's in big drops now. I think we've called this fantastically well. And the strategy at the start of the race has paid off. DRS disabled. There you go. That's the sign. And this has worked out beautifully. We have pulled out a masterstroke strategy here at France. What a race so far with 5 laps to go. Lewis in the pit lane. Everyone's in the pit lane pretty much at the minute. But we have pulled out the bag here big time. What a masterstroke. Incredible. Right, now we're going to see what the gap is as Gasly and Raikkonen are in the pit lane. Let's see if the gap has stayed the same. Has it increased? I'll be shocked if it has decreased because I think we've timed this beautifully. Raikkonen has jumped Gasly in the pit stops. That's incredible. But there we go, up to speed now, and there they are leaving the pit lane. So we've definitely called this right. We've gained some big ground. Now it's going to be a question of does Raikkonen have enough pace on the inters to catch me up? And know my wet pace from the last qualifying, the last race, and also our pace in Monaco. I don't think Raikkonen's going to touch me here. Once it rains, I'm the man, regardless of whatever car I drive. So let's bring this home. But what a masterstroke. Taking the risk on strategy at the start of the race and going for the softs when I said to you it was a good race tyre. It lasts long. It's consistently performing, as you saw me do a PB on my last lap on those tyres. And it's worked out. I kind of prayed for the rain and it has arrived. So it's all worked out beautifully. Oh, not again. Hamilton out of the race. Oh man, not again. At the final corner you can see him there. Lewis retires. That's not good for us as a team or a constructor, has to be said. Second time in 3 races. I've got to say, Raikkonen does have good pace. He's catching me, but nowhere near enough to the point where he's going to catch up to the back of me by the end of the race. We're keeping him under control. It's a controlled gap. I'm once again burning off the excess fuel to try and stay nice and light and pretty much avoid any threats and just trying to bring this one home, to be honest. Right, last lap. Let's bring this one home. Here we go then. Final couple of corners. It's been an absolutely incredible race here at France. From P6 on the grid after a P7 qualifying, we've pulled it out of the bag with an absolute quality strategy. A moment of just pure madness / intelligence, and I'm very happy with how it's all played out. And here we go, we win the French Grand Prix when we shouldn't have done. What a performance, 25 points for the championship, and that is a big one for us in the World Driver standings, and also good for the team as well, some decent points. Right, so looking at the final race results, we win at France ahead of Kimi Raikkonen by 2.8 seconds and Pierre Gasly in a phenomenal P3 for him in the Toro Rosso car. Max Verstappen from P14 in the grid all the way to 4th place ahead of Esteban Ocon as well in his French Grand Prix home race. And then we've got Charles Leclerc, the favourite in my opinion, the man that qualified on pole, P6 in the race, albeit with the penalty, but he was so fast today, and I'm shocked he only got P6. Then we've got Fernando Alonso, Nico Hülkenberg, Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz running at the points. Renault scoring points with both cars in their home race. Sebastian Vettel, the man that did start on pole thanks to Leclerc's penalty, finishing outside the points in P11 due to car problems. And then right down the order here, we have a few retirements in the form of Ricciardo, Van Dorn, Grosjean and Lewis Hamilton, my own teammate. In terms of what that means for the driver standings though, as you can see now, Raikkonen leads still, but we jump up to 2nd place, overtaking Lewis in the process and also overtaking Sebastian Vettel. And a big swing in the championship. Raikkonen P2 though, scoring good points, so he keeps a 13-point gap to me in the championship. And in terms of the constructors though, we close the gap slightly to Ferrari and the gap is now down to 10 points. But all in all guys, that is it for the French Grand Prix here at Paul Ricard. We're now going to move into the laptop and finally, hopefully put some upgrades on the car for the next race. Let's do it.
Do you think your rival learned from his battle with you? Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash? Well, thanks anyway.
Right, so it's time for some contract negotiations, so let's see how this goes. So straight away, qualifying position, I reckon we can go for, I'm going to say P8, I'm going to be generous. Race position, I'm going to go for, okay, I can't do any higher than 7th apparently, so that works for me. So, yeah, actually, I'll go 10th in qualifying because it said 16th originally, which is what the team expects. I'm guessing that's down to where we are on the R&D graph. So, 10th for qualifying, 7th in race position. I reckon that's fair enough. And then we're going to go and max out these bonuses. And we're going to put the pit stop efficiency on none. And let's see what they say to this first offer.
We're asking for too much here. We need to make some compromises.
Right, that's fair enough. So, what we will do is we will take off, I reckon, simultaneous development and put that down to level 2, and hopefully that does the trick.
Okay, that proposal looks good. It seems all parties are happy with the deal, so it'll commence at the next race weekend.
Right, there we go then. Job done, contract sorted out, and now we can move into some development. So, as you can see, we have a ultimate engine upgrade, or should I say chassis upgrade, on the way for the British Grand Prix. However, I've had a little look at the tree. I looked before this race weekend, and there is a nice, decent double upgrade we can do in the meantime, and that is going to be in the aerodynamic side of things. So there's an option here for a diffuser upgrade, and also a front downforce upgrade. So we're going to go for both of those, and those should arrive for the Austrian Grand Prix. A nice little double aero upgrade, which should jump us hopefully into 4th, maybe 3rd on Alfa Romeo there, kind of close, 50-50, but we should gain 2 places. And in terms of the general R&D chart, you can see there we should jump up and be once again the 4th best team. And we're starting to get some upgrades on the car now and really get the car as a solid package once again. So yeah, overall decent progress, and hopefully we should be able to put another upgrade in the car in the next race. So fingers crossed, if both of these upgrades arrive for Austria, we'll get some more upgrades in the car. I think one more. And if we get a double upgrade with the ultimate package that's coming already for Silverstone, then who knows, by the British Grand Prix, we could have a pretty strong package underneath us already. So the R&D points are coming in thick and fast, the results are coming in thick and fast, and the championship's looking better than ever as we've taken a jump towards 2nd place. So all in all, very positive episode, guys. If you did enjoy it, then please do drop a like on the video. Also, do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content and turn notifications to not miss a single upload from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you in my next video very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.